calling this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. April said she may not be here this evening. She is not feeling the best. So there's two of us who will continue. What do you have first, Jacqueline?
The minute.
So I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes from August 21st, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I would like to ask for a motion to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $54,143.25.
I will make that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? No. She okay.
Morning.
Morning.
Welcome back.
Yep.
Over here. Okay, this is BOZ account number 16.
Mhm.
That's the email I got, and then, yeah, that's everything I sent.
I got it right here, Denny.
Is this one, so payment number
That's for Phoenix.
16, yeah, that's what I was looking for. It's for Phoenix.
Mhm.
Andy, you have looked this over and this looks correct to you?
They wanted to pay appreciation.
Yep, $385,545.21. So I would like to ask for a motion to approve the SRF disbursement number 16 in the amount of $380,555. My apologies. $380,545.21.
This is all something that's been pre-approved and developed, right? Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. So this is approved and ready to go.
Yep, that's already signed. All right. The banner electric, that's okay? Then, okay. So this is the banner electric final payment.
It's our final payment for banners. Contractor application for final payment. Andy has looked over this in agreement with the 10,238.
They did the generator,
Mhm.
operational, testing it weekly to make sure that it's functioning, but anything around that will be a warranty issue.
Okay.
So
So that's done and completed. So I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the final payment to
Banner.
Banner Electric in the amount of $10,238.
I will make that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright. All those opposed? So be it. Done.
Maybe if I have a same, Ready? Yeah. Okay, so the last one I got was the progress report number 18, the DLZ invoice. So there's that one. I don't remember how much it was, but.
$7,610. That sounds correct to you, Andy?
yes, and it's for our staff, Davis, Warner, the other deals there, and the deals the staff on these projects.
Then I would like to ask for a motion to approve progress report number 18 with invoice number 606681 in the amount of $7,610 to
I'll make
DLZ.
that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? So be it. Anything else?
Not on my end.
Joe?
Okay, this past month, we've had some issues. This is stuff that we've been kind of dealing with. So I kind of gave you some dates and stuff. On August 6th, we were flushing the hydrants on Lake Trail, the last hydrant. We kind of shoot across the road and then scrape it up on a vehicle. And Dave was flushing and a vehicle passed. He flipped it over and it landed on a car and he flipped it back real quick. I got a phone call that it flooded their car and that we did this because they're our firefighter for the town. And I told them to stop right there. I says, Dave does not know any firefighters on here nor what they drive. So I think Patrick can vouch. I was coming into town. Brandon happened to be setting up at 131. So I stopped and asked him, can you come down? I called him back, said, bring your vehicle down so we can get pictures. We'll get a report. We'll take care of whatever has happened. And never showed up. So then August 7th.
Well, is that the end of that one?
That is the end of that one because
You've
no one,
heard anything?
Patrick waited around, or I'm sorry,
Brandon.
Brandon waited around for probably half hour to 45 minutes waiting for them to come back. I called them, it's like, we're waiting, and nobody ever showed up. So that we,
So to your knowledge, there's no police report on this,
No.
there's.
So-
Can't go back.
then August 7th, he was up flushing in Morningside and noticed that somebody had put a camera to film us flushing that dead end hydrant up there. So we got Patrick involved. I'm not gonna go into all the details of what transpired there, but they, basically it's the farmer to the south of us is upset about the way we are flushing. So we kind of changed up the where we're flushing, got a different diffuser, try to keep it on the road. I thought everything was taken care of. Then on August 13th, I get a call from IDEM that farmer then said turned me into IDEM. So I talked with IDEM. I believe they called down to Indy and they transferred it up to the South Bend office, which is my inspector, is who called me. And I told her, it's like, you're more than welcome to come down and see what we're doing. She says we encourage flushing. I explained everything to her and everything was good there. We were just back up there the 4th again, September 4th, flushing this last Thursday, I think. And the camera's back up. So they got their pictures of us. I don't know what is going on here or what the purpose of all this. We haven't done anything to the crops or
So
anything.
just to clarify, for everybody here online, watching later, this is fresh water coming out of the hydrant that's being flushed.
Yes.
I went up and looked at it myself the other day, just out of curiosity to see what direction it could go. And if you shoot it in one direction, you're getting houses and people is what you're gonna get if you go in any other direction. But IDEM is generally called when there's a problem with natural water or you have a runoff.
Well, no,
Dirt.
IDEM is my inspector.
Correct.
They're over our water plant and everything. They're
Okay.
The
Yes.
ones that say, do our inspections and everything, so.
But they normally wouldn't be called for fresh water.
No, they could be called, yes, yes,
The water system.
yes. Water, sewer, storm, yes. They're kind
But
of
everything is,
different people deal different with different areas, but
so they have an open door to come down and inspect anytime they want.
yeah, pretty much, yes, yep.
Yeah,
They just have to
yeah.
give me 24 hours notice for any of our plants or anything, but I told her, I said, if you can come down, I says, I don't know what to do with this, because he won't come and talk to us. He had somebody else.
Sent an email. First time, it was probably the beginning of August. And that might have even been to you. It was on our table before, along with the pictures that you had taken. So he had contacted us once.
Yes.
Thought it was solved after that.
Is that like that person you talked to, like this grad with the complaint was? That them?
Just that basically flushing water onto somebody else's property. And we're flushing it into the street, and there's 2 storm basins on each side of the street that's catching the water, but that road goes downhill to and there's probably I'm gonna say a 25 foot wood line between Morningside and the farmer's field. So that water is running down the road into that, some of it's going to the catch basins, but like I say, just the grade of the road, everything's going that way into that wood line. So we've changed up our practices but I don't understand, he's farmed this before that Morningside was in. And I even also talked to Dan when he was flushing that he's always flushed that way. So I don't know, since 2002, when this was put in, what's happened in the last 6 months that we haven't done before that is causing the problem. But like I say, it hasn't killed any crops or anything. Everything's still, so it's information for you guys of what I've been dealing with here the last month of just.
If you're doing what you can do and you've changed it per the farmer's request and IDEM has been in contact with you, there's nothing more you can do.
The only nice thing is if they got pictures of us working, you guys can see that we're actually doing something.
There you go.
So, okay, I talked to Patrick a little bit the other day, stopped down. We've got several properties around town that they got trees that are real close to the curb lines that are now growing out into the streets to where we can't get, even get plowing to the curb line at snow, let alone leaf pickup, and we're getting into that here coming up. So I'd asked Patrick if it's something we can send letters to these people to see if they will trim them back, or if they don't want to trim them back, we would just have to go in there and get them cut back so they're not hitting the trucks and we can.
I noticed the one on the northwest corner of Patterson and Lake today. You can't even see what street it is anymore.
Yes, and just at Washington and Grand Street going up the hill on the north side, whatever those little berry trees are that they have there, those are really, we're like 4 foot from getting to the curb line now. They've grown out so far. I just didn't want to go do it and then have the residents upset, so I talked to Patrick, if we send letters to them first to inform them, and then we just kind of go from there.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll send letters to, that's what I talked to Joe, I think it was Friday, and then, so I'll send the letters to the property, the one's homeowner, the other's property owner, and that. And so on the other one that we had, it got taken care of too, so. Mhm.
Community crossings, I believe, are paving going to be coming in the next couple of weeks to do that for the year and get all of our patches taken care of. And Denny, I don't know if I got a locate for the blue barns, and Carol's not here. Are they planning to
She should be here, but.
the water?
No, she had
sewer?
Ben's delivering rocks right now, so she went over to meet with him, see where they go.
I didn't know if you knew if they were gonna be doing that. Because I would like to get though, if they're gonna put the water and sewer in, I'd like to get it as soon as they can before they come, so we can get the road repatched before winter.
I think they were gonna do sewer, but I don't know if they were gonna do water.
Okay, he has water listed.
Get it? Okay.
Yeah.
He might be.
Okay, so well, we can get another date, Carol.
Yeah.
Then also the tower update, they've set the hatchway and everything today. And all of the jacks so they can raise tentatively Thursday, but the bowl should be raised, but we got a couple things to work through. know if Andy's got anything else he wants to add or any other questions you
It
guys?
was really neat to see him put that piece in today. I cannot wait to watch that whole go up.
We just need to verify some things on the welds and their steel plates and, if all goes well, then we might be, going up in the air on Thursday. If they have to change a couple things, then it might be delayed to the following week. So, yeah, it's,
Let us all know so those ones that want to watch it go up.
Yeah.
So what are the odds they're actually gonna meet their deadline?
They're actually.
I was gonna say, it sounds like they're working real fast.
So they're pretty close on hitting the deadline. We want to make sure that, the quality is compromised, so we've been working back and forth with them. They have a little bit of problem with their labor on some crews, and that's why there's a longer delay than normal. But they've accelerated and things are going well. We are actually trending under budget right now. So we have some contingency available that we're looking at, some potential existing valves to be replaced at the water plant that are valves that aren't functioning right now. So we're evaluating that and we'll present that to the board at the appropriate time. But again, we're trending under budget, so that's a good thing.
Great. Thank you.
The
How many did you bring so far? One?
One, yeah, that's huge.
That's a little one.
I videotaped.
Wait till you see the big one.
One thing, you guys didn't put a couple things I remembered after I put in my slip. The town truck is up at the body shop, the red pickup, get the bed fixed. That is in the body shop now. And Dave is at the CDL. Getting that taken care of, so. That's all I got.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Patrick.
Okay. So our activity for August 2025, I do have a correction on the sheets. I forgot to, we actually had, that's why I went to go grab my master sheet. And when I first came out, we had 187 calls for service for August. Of that 187, we had 15 assists to St. Joseph County Police. We had an alarm at Orchard Heights, fight Clearwater Trailer Park, crash on Pierce Road, 911 hang up on Linden Road, missing juvenile on Patterson Road, domestic at Clearwater Trailer Park, mental investigation 931 in Madison, suicidal person on State Road 4, suspicious person Shively Road, had a suspicious vehicle at Palmer's, one had a suicide Potato Creek, suicidal person on Newton Avenue, unwanted person Clearwater Trailer Park, found juvenile on Osborne Road. It was a young child was just wandering by themselves. Alarm on Roosevelt Road, and we had one assist to North Liberty Police Department, and that was for a domestic at the Meadows. Took a total of 17 reports for the month, 2 driving while suspended, 2 juvenile investigations, 2 assisting outside agency, 2 violations, 2 reports for a violation of court order, 1 unauthorized control of a motor vehicle, 1 motor vehicle theft, 1 sexual battery, 1 theft, 1 crash, 1 battery, 1 fraud, and 1 traffic investigation. Had a total of 4 arrests for the month. That would be 2 driving while suspended, 1 motor vehicle theft, and 1 driving never licensed, and had a total of 26 tickets written for the month and 5 local ordinance violations.
Busy month.
Yes, it was a very busy month.
Anything else?
The only one thing I do have is we did finally, well, actually 2 different things I could go on to now when we talk about this.
Send me the updated
Yeah, I'll
ones
send you the
so we can
updated
get
because I
those.
sent the other one. Yeah, I'll send you the updated one with the numbers. The rest of our flock cameras should be up hopefully within the next 2 weeks. Everything was finally approved by the state, which was a very long process. And so that is done. And then actually speaking of with state permitting, last Tuesday for the coffee shop, Abraham, they actually did get their permits from the state. So they are up and running as far as to getting stuff done. So they started demolition last Wednesday. So some of the kind of a little bit of updates, what he had given me, he walked me through of how they're going to do they're going to try to have as much open space as possible inside kind of the area when it was Outlaw Barbecue, the area where the counter was. Is actually they're going to have 2 refrigerators there, and those are going to be for any local farmers or anybody local to sell local goods and products that they can. And they're also looking at in the back section putting in a Cuban sandwich shop, Cuban deli, to go along with their coffee. They have a friend that actually does Cuban sandwiches, kind of Cuban cuisine. So that's kind of what they're looking at, is actually then being able to offer along with coffee and, you know, coffee, pastries, donuts, but to also be able to actually offer some sandwiches. So
Do they have a date that they're aiming for?
he's still hoping before the end of the year, but they got really behind as far as initially they were thinking July, and then they pushed it out to August, and with just now getting their permits. So they're going to try at least getting the drive-through portion completed and starting interior work here within the next couple of weeks. So
Are they tearing down the,
yes,
that
I'm
overhang
not
or
sure
what?
why they left it up.
I was
But
just
yeah, no,
curious.
that overhang will be coming out, and then where the door was to go out to that little office area is actually, that's where the drive-through window will be. And then on the
Okay.
other side of that, they'll have a counter, and then that's where the coffee machines will be for where people can come up and order.
And then they have to put up you said like a divided.
So they'll be putting a divider up in between where our parking places are now and where the drive-through area will be for a barrier so that people can't drive over. They're also going to be in the front section where there is greenscapes right now, where they had all the bushes and the fence. They're taking that all out, and they're going to they'll put the parking buffers in about 2 feet from where the sidewalk's at, so that, and they'll have angle parking there. And then in the front of the building, they're leaving the overhang, and they'll have that as patio outside seating, and there'll be 2 handicap spaces right there in front for people. So
I seen they dropped it's like gravel or something. off
yeah,
the
and so in the
back
back section here by the dumpster, they're going to gravel that whole area. So that way there won't be any maintenance, and grass. So, but that's their plans. So, and we're kind of working with them to see what we can do as far as if we can time it correctly with Milestone being here, of getting because our property line for the town actually extends over into where their concrete area is, to see if we can time it correctly and get with Jacqueline too, to see what funds would be available there too. But actually extend our town parking lot over to the property line, and then at the same time see about being able to help them out with the smaller area that's there on the side of the building all at once, to at least get that cohesive, and it'll give us a little bit more parking too. So that's all I can think of. And I mean, I can mention it. But,
Yeah, might as well,
Okay.
because everybody's gonna know.
Okay. Okay. So we did bring Jess Fisher back on as a reserve at the current point in time. We have been in the process now for a little over a year. We've had a few discussions here, I know, as far as working with the school corporation, getting that payment for my hours. Last Friday, they did actually get their approval on the grant. So we're not changing anything as far as salary ordinance yet until we actually have a check from the school corporation, which should be in mid-October when they get their payout for the school safety grant. Once we have that point, then we can look at bringing him up to part-time for paid position. Then he would be able to cover from 8:30 to 12:30, being the hours where, and actually there will be some overlap even with me, because I do 3 hours up at the school. So my 3 hours enable him 4 hours for him, and then Brandon comes on at then 1 o'clock. So we have coverage there. But for the time being, since he has been working events at the wetland barn, and that, so we can he'll be in Lakeville uniform when he's working that, and there will be some shifts in the morning he can start covering even as a reserve. So
Who's he work for? Sunday?
Plymouth. He's been with Plymouth for, I believe, 3 years. City of Plymouth for 3 years.
So if anybody has concerns or questions, please see Patrick.
Mhm.
That includes the public. There's been rumors already, and just stop the rumors now. I questioned it myself because 10, 15 years ago, we're all young and dumb. And we all grow and we learn with experience. And I think Jess has come a long way. I did sit down and talk with Patrick to find Patrick's reasons as to why he chose the person he did. And after sitting down and talking with Patrick, I'm comfortable. Before talking with Patrick, I personally was not. But if anybody does have any questions, please go to Patrick and he can let you know why he's made the decision that he has as to the person he has hired.
Yeah, and he's one that was always involved very much with the community before, and even still is. So, yeah, and he does work part-time, North Liberty Police Department as well. They just don't have as many part-time hours as what they used to. So,
Thank you.
yep, you're welcome.
Again, all questions to Patrick,
Mhm.
no rumors and no gossip. Got a question, ask. Anything else?
Nope, that'll be all.
Carol?
I don't have that much, but we have, the architect is off making official plans for the Blue Barn. We had some ideas, changes we made, and Andy is putting his 2 cents in. Probably gonna cost me more than that, but. Oh, yes, did you have a question about something?
No, I got an 811 locate for guys are gonna do the water, are they doing water and sewer?
Well, I talked to Dave today, because I heard through Terry that David picked a date to get that done. And I was happy to hear that, but, we had just a question about what your plan was for the sewer. And if we get that okayed, I told David I would let him know right away, and if he can do both or whatever close together, that way we get covered by the asphalt too.
Yes,
when they're
that's
doing
what I was
the
gonna
line.
say, I
Yeah.
just talked with them and they're a week to 2 weeks, so.
So, yeah.
And as soon as I hear a date, I will let you know,
Okay,
if I know when they're coming in, if we can get that done.
yeah. To the
For
David
paving,
agreement. So, yeah, I happened to call him today, it's the rock. I want to make sure if we put a big rock down there, I don't want to set it where he's gonna put the water.
Okay, these rocks we keep talking about, there's somebody on the road that has 3, looking at the picture, they were
Yeah,
boulders, but
yeah, look
they can use
doable.
them over at the barn, right? So Ben and I go out to look at them today, because I'm the one who's been communicating with the woman, and now I need to see if Ben can get them up on the flatbed, and so we go out and look. The small one,
Is as big as the one that's at the park now.
hold on, this is the small one. That's the little one.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, the big one measures 6 foot wide and 4 foot tall. So he's not sure if he can get the big one or not, but these were free from somebody on Oak Road that didn't want them anymore.
Yeah.
And I will throw that out, we have a huge rock that is out of the ponds.
Oh, really?
It's about the size of a car. If you could find somebody that would move it, it's huge,
How do you-
but it's a neat looking rock.
Well, the rock I'm using in landscaping up around the barn, but the big one, I would like to use it as landscaping out at the corner of the Blue Barn at the street, so there's the grass already, yeah.
They're a lot bigger than we have anticipated.
And that one, like you mentioned, the big one's even large enough if we wanted to etch some words into it or something.
It would be neat with something etched into it, because it's got a flat side on it.
So-and-so's buried here, like that.
Don't let me tell you for Halloween.
But yeah, so that's what's happening with that. I talked to Daniel today just to start looking at our finances again and making sure everything's in order, see where we're at with that. So that's about all I want to plan a meeting soon, is what I was getting at.
I'm just gonna say, don't put X's buried here on that rock. Anytime you wanted to do any work over there, everybody right over would see it and go immediately, and we're shooting grenades. You have to wait for the, you have to wait for the archaeologist. So,
Oh, wait, never mind. I am hoping that within the next week, we can move 2 vehicles out of this barn and I can get all the Halloween stuff out of the blue barn. We're gonna put it over here. From now till Halloween, the barn over here is going to be our workshop to set up all of our props. So I will get everything we have out of that. Well, I am not gonna get anything anywhere. But Patrick's gonna get an energy drink and help us out with that. And his teenagers, maybe?
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'm sure.
One, good luck with Braxton.
One with his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's gonna help too.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Anything else?
Yes.
So back to the exciting sewer discussion.
Well, I like rock stuff.
Some people like rocks, some people like sewer. So, yeah, we had kind of
You had kind of,
left it in, really flexibility where
Where it's coming out of the barn.
Yeah,
To,
yeah, we just guessed where it was coming out,
Right.
just so we would know rough elevations.
right,
Where you want to tie into it along the road, obviously, you've got some flexibility there too. I guess a couple key takeaways is, like Jim said, that storm sewer is right there, so you can get over it with the sewer, but it just makes it a little shallow, so you're gonna have to fill, the site, which we talked about.
right.
But, once you get to the barn, you're only gonna be about a foot deep with your sewer. However, the finished floor of the barn is about,
2 foot. So
yeah, yeah.
Right.
You
And
can,
my plan is,
Yeah, yeah,
inch your sewer like
Yeah.
you would read stuff on the inside.
yeah, so it'll work. It'll work.
Right.
It's just gonna require some site work and some things like
The
that.
architect suggested maybe coming this way farther on the sewer line. Close to where we-
to- rather than a straight diagonal line, kind of like you had, to swoop it, is that what you're, or?
No, he suggested come this way farther on the sewer line, coming.
Oh,
closer.
oh, you mean in the
Maybe get a
street?
little bit more elevation than where we tied in the main hole.
So you look at it.
But it's not sizing much, so.
And then, yeah, wherever, and then the water has to stay.
Right.
Deep, obviously, so, just for freezing. And then, I don't know what, you can decide what you wanna do with your contractor. Our initial thought was just get it out of the road and stuff it there. And
Right,
then once you have your
right.
final plan, then you can.
Right, that's my plan right now, is get it to the curb stop and that, so wherever you think it should be for the sewer, you tell me what the best spot is.
Well, it depends where you want to whether it be that corner, farther south.
There was one, we'll have to watch where that property line might be. Because,
Is it on, are the trees on the property line or are they?
The trees are right over.
so.
Pretty close to it.
Just in case, it's all kind of town right now, but in
Right,
50
right.
years, it could be
Right,
different. So
Right,
always-
yeah, we don't want to cross over any lines.
Yeah.
Or there's no internet or anything in there, is there? Or let me put that.
I'd say the internet is on the south side of the road, so the internet is in the property there. And because the internet's, because one of the boxes I think is over by where that, well, actually it runs straight from where the sign is there, because it's about a foot off of the sign that routes depot there, and then it runs straight west to about where Bubolini's driveway is, and beyond the south side of his driveway, there's a pot there, but it runs straight. I think they're down probably about 3 feet. They did all directional boring when they did it, so I mean it should fluctuate about that.
How deep is
So kind of working from the blue barn towards the sewer, you've got, obviously, you get to the edge of the property, then you got gas, fiber, storm, and then you get to your sanitary. So we've got a We took indoor elevations of the sanitary sewer. Wait, this is even small for me to read, right? You know, we're about, like 3.5 feet deep, I believe. And the
That's the end
sanitary there, yeah, you know, 3.5, 4 feet deep there. But the question for us is where the gas is. You know, as the contractor comes across that, they're just gonna have to pothole and be careful where the gas is and where the fiber is, because those both are outside of the pavement, but closer to the blue barn. So if you expose those, make sure that they know where they're at before they start laying.
Yeah, I think the red barn had it over the top and drop down into the sewer. Yeah, I think it kind of goes and drops, like a big soup and.
So it's close, those are the two things.
Well, that's why I said the better it is to elevate the inside of the barn, because you're approximately 4 foot off the ground.
Yeah.
So insulate it and then bring some fill, like we talked about bringing fill, we were planning on bringing the fill at least
Quite down to the end
all
of
that
it.
far,
whatever we have to do.
so we can move back up. I think we'll get it covered.
So, yeah, I think it's workable, it's, you know, it's.
All I need to know is where to put it to the curb stop, or which part of the street I should, as close to the boundary line as I can, avoiding.
I mean, it's really kind of up to your architects,
Yeah.
and, I'm happy that I'll be here for our meeting tomorrow morning, so we.
You know, I heard it
We
too.
look at anything.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a few pipes in the ground right there.
I just heard it, so.
It's about where the tree line is, basically, evergreens, and it's close to it.
Do you want me to?
I don't have my
pop in?
radio.
Or do you want to meet down there, or what?
Meeting's at 9, so could be before that.
You know, 7.
Tomorrow morning.
7 o'clock.
So a few minutes before 9 o'clock, you want me, or,
Actually, I'd say, yeah, 8:30, yeah,
Okay.
probably, yeah.
okay. Just meet you down there, okay, cool. You'll be present, so you can remember everything you say.
Get too old to remember.
Okay, thanks. I'm done, sorry.
I don't have anything there.
Are you done looking your report?
You had your hand on it.
It's got a video record of that.
Don't have to this morning.
We're still, I'm assuming we're gonna start this thing as soon as Richard, Jeff Richard's gonna clear the land down here for us. So, he's in Washington, wedding for a couple of weeks, so his daughter got married over there, so he should be back real quick and get price from him. So he thinks he could clear it for us, so that's all I have right now.
He's also gonna cut some trail, some of the limbs back in the trail too.
Yeah, Sarah and I went through there on a golf cart to see where we were gonna do the festival stuff.
Yeah, I need
Terry's
to
been
cut
back.
back.
Really? Overgrown.
Because I told Terry to hire somebody, because it's more than what he
Yeah,
should,
it's a lot.
should have to do.
It's not.
Said the mosquitoes are bad too.
Right.
Well, we can get more of those mosquito things.
Yeah.
Will you show Jacqueline what they are on Amazon, because they were,
Are they the orange ones?
yeah.
I ordered them once.
Oh, can you get some of those again? If we get them now, I can put
Ahead
it
of
for
time.
30 days.
30, yeah.
So we might have to do a second one if it's not cooler by the end of October. But if you get them now, anybody can walk through those woods with mosquitoes.
Mhm.
And it'll help clean up.
So 2 of them?
Well, I think
I
there's
think
2 per
2
package.
per package. I think we
Sure.
got
But
4.
I think there's 4. You'll have to look,
Yeah.
but it should be.
I think we did 4 altogether to get the square footage.
So if you can get those, then you can get those put up and clean up some of the other ways if you're not carried away by mosquitoes.
I feel it and take down.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and fall mums are gonna be coming up real quick. We had ordered them from Mr. Mack.
Okay, so fall mums are coming. Jacqueline is getting the Skeeter tubes. And as soon as we get those, we'll get those put up in the woods. That way our trails are not,
Maybe it'll help a little bit.
Yeah, especially for fall festival.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if we could, the sooner we get those put up
Mhm.
and start controlling it, now the better it'll be. Does anybody have anything else? I have just a few things to go over, nothing controversial. First of all, we have a letter from the Methodist Church.
You had one too, I put in your.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
Who's this from?
Methodist Church.
Oh,
Town of Lakeville, dear Lori, thank you for participating in the Lakeville Party in the Park. It was great to have you helping with all the arrangements and for the school supplies. Everyone enjoyed the party and had a wonderful time. We appreciate your time and effort in this annual event.
send
So
money.
we have
Spend
that.
money.
Send money.
There was one for the.
So
police
if these
department,
can
too,
be put somewhere, those are letters, that one's right here. Okay, so there's that. Budgets. I've gotten, Joe's going to be working on his. When do those need to be approved and turned in by?
Please, November 1st, isn't it? End of October, November.
That is the very end of the period. We do not want to be waiting that long.
Right. So by our next meeting, I want these approved. We've been talking about it for 2 months. So we need to sit down by our next meeting, and it's a work session.
Mhm.
So let's go over everybody's numbers and we'll go from there. Have we heard what the percentages are in raises?
I haven't seen anything yet, but I haven't been on Gateway at all this week. Not yet.
But you did get the numbers though from,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got that,
Mhm.
the ones I showed you.
Yeah.
I called Surf Internet last week and called as myself, but then called on behalf of the town. And I talked to them about the little lids on their flower pots is what they call them, because we are missing most of them. I heard that, this person's called, that person's called, Patrick's called, Jeff, I don't know if you've called, Chris has called, or
Joe's called.
everybody's called. So when I call them, they look it all up, they said, nope, we don't have anything on here that anybody's ever called us about these. I'm like, well, that's just not true. I said, you know what, that's fine, it doesn't matter. I said, last week, somebody was walking down the street and they fell, and there just happened to be a flower pot right there. They had other circumstances involving their fall, but the flower pot did get in the middle of it. So I said, I would really hate to having had legal issues. It is in the right of way, but you're, I go, what if that was a child? I go, are you guys ready for that? Oh, no, hold on, let me get my supervisor. And this was just I don't know, what day was that incident?
So it was a week, it happened the day of the fire territory board meeting, because that was right before that. I think that was a Wednesday, a week ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were out here last week.
Mhm.
They go, can you
They
give us
were out
the
Monday,
streets? I go,
yeah.
everyone. Can you be more
They checked
specific?
everyone.
I go, nope. Every single street.
Main Street, there isn't one. There might be now. One last week.
Is it? Yeah, no, they went house, it took 3 days and they went house to house replacing them.
Street by street.
Good on you.
No.
I said, good on you. You managed to get them to do it.
Well, after seeing somebody fall in it,
It's a wonder it didn't happen before.
it's a
It
right,
really is.
Yeah,
it is a right of, technically it's in the right of way, and they're only 3 foot off the road. And nobody should be walking into somebody's property anyway, but I guess if you're stumbling, it can happen. And then you can stumble your whole leg into one of these.
Exactly. You trip where you were supposed to be walking, you stumble, you fall into the hole. It's much worse than if you
I'm
don't
like, let's be grateful this was not fun. So, less than a week after calling them, they were hanging up and down each and every single street, and they also left 7
I
extra.
have
ones.
7 and then they left some with Joe as well, so we both have. No, when they did the initial install, it was a key and that had to lock them, and they just left them on there and didn't lock them. So the newer ones is a push, it's spring loaded, so as soon as it's pushed,
They don't actually.
yeah, they shouldn't get sucked up now. It's spring loaded as soon as it's pushed. It allows it like a door. It allows the latch to go back when you push down on it, and then it goes forward, and then they have to have a key to be able to open them. So
So if there are any further issues, and I think I sent a message out to most of you stating, if you see them, let's reply to this message, so we're on the same page. So we'll do that same thing again if there's more issues, and I asked them for a ticket number before I got off the phone, so that way we have proof that we had made this call. So if it happens again, we'll do the exact same thing.
yeah, and if anybody notices them, if there are ones missing, yeah, either Joe or I we'll get them replaced now.
Okay, so that's awesome.
I did forget to mention that Kevin
I'm sorry, your time's up.
talked to me.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Kevin, what's his name? The gas station, he wants money.
Okay, yeah.
They can.
The fire department is going to be here this evening. According to the chief, he's not. But since we do have Randy here and she's on the clock, we have some questions.
Okay.
You're probably not prepared for the questions, but that's fine. If you can just get back with us with the answers, this would be great. So Patrick and
I was gonna say,
I,
so if this is about fire territory property stuff, there may not be.
it's about the town of Lakeville property stuff. Okay, Patrick and I had a meeting last
That Wednesday, Wednesday, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was the night of that incident with fire territory, then I had the whole knee thing. Yeah, that was a bad day. It was just, one of the first things in that meeting is that they had asked us, they want to sell the Lakeville fire truck that they have a lifetime lease on.
Okay, no, why do they think that?
They want to sell two of theirs plus the one that's in the name of Lakeville and replace it with one instead of three. That way they're not maintaining three, they don't need as many as they have, and they want to downsize and go down to one. I asked if the one in the name of Lakeville is sold, where does the money go and what happens next? Well, it goes back to Lakeville and it's up to Lakeville to reimburse that and replace the truck. If I'm wrong, correct me.
No, that's what it sounded like what Andy had said, yes.
So my understanding.
So that truck is owned by the town currently, it is titled in the town's name.
I have the
And
title.
there is a
Like
lease
time lease.
with the fire territory to have it be used by the fire territory until the end of its useful life. Yes. I don't understand why they're getting this, that you would have to reimburse somebody for the fire truck.
Yeah, this was spring. So.
What's-
Yeah.
Yeah, right, Lakeville.
The
Yeah,
way
they're up to- He said $50,000.
I mean.
Well, first off, the fire territory doesn't get to decide to sell it.
Okay, hold on. Before we go any further. When the territory started, there were things in the name of the town, things in the name of the township. As those got sold off, a new one would be purchased for the territory. But now, we've been told by the attorney of the township that they cannot have physical belongings in their names. So none of the vehicles are in the name of the town, of the territory. Which in the past, I don't know what has happened, but like the Suburban that they just sold, what it even said on the side, Lakeville Union Territory, and that was purchased by the territory years ago,
Yes,
but the township just sold it
okay,
without the territory knowing anything about it.
okay.
At least they're asked, so
So I can
I,
do nothing about what they're doing.
but we do have a truck.
Marcel would anti-listen to me.
Fair enough. So that's what's happened has happened and we can't do anything about it. We have one truck in the name of Lakeville.
Mhm.
And they are I asked for them to come here and explain everything to the board because it's not my job to explain this to everybody in this room. It is their job as to why they want to get rid of it. So the fire chief was supposed to come here this evening to explain that to everybody because it's not just for my ears, it's for everybody's ears.
So when you lease something, is that just like paying rent to the person that owns it for a lifetime?
But
Well,
nobody
they,
was leasing.
there was no
There was
it
no
was like
lease.
$1 and then they got to use it like,
So it's like renting it,
Exactly,
basically, right? It's not owning it.
that is correct. The fire territory is
So
not.
we own it. So there's no reason why we should give them any money for the truck that we may sell. Correct?
The money would
If I'm
come,
remembering right, this was the fire truck that the St. Joe County RDC helped buy.
no, that would be, that's the new one, isn't it?
I think it's a new one.
That's the
This
new
one,
one, and that went
the
directly into
town
the
got a
township
grant
name.
for
For this one, this one got a grant.
The original town truck that you own right now,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they got a grant for, a matching grant for that truck.
But it boils down to it, even though
it
the
was
fire
sold-
territory was leasing it, they have no right to
No.
get
They
any
can
money
use
for
it
it.
until it dies. They can use it till it dies, is what that piece of paper that was said.
Maybe they sell it, or if we just lease it, or we have a lease on it to them.
Right.
That's what I'm saying, I don't understand.
Why they think they
How
should
they
get any
can,
money.
they can sell it.
They are coming to us, asking us to sell it. So they can't get it.
Yeah, they're asking your permission to sell it, but they shouldn't get any of the money for it.
No, they said the money comes back to the town, but then the town has to put more money back in to get a new truck.
They said that the town would then be responsible for replacing the truck.
Why don't they just keep the two that they?
Because they want to get rid of 3 to only maintain 1.
But
Instead of
how does the
maintaining
town have to buy that one truck if they're selling 2 trucks in the township?
I'm assuming that they will do a percentage of it, but if they don't want, for whatever reason, to use our truck anymore and get that truck back, what do we have that says we need to put money into another truck that would go into the name of, well, it'd be in the name of Lakeville. If they sold 3 to go into 1, is it double title in Lakeville and Township? Because why would we ever sell it? Take our money.
To
And
give them a truck. Why? I
Well,
don't.
nobody's here to explain that tonight. But this is what was, again, correct me if
Yeah,
I'm.
no,
missing
Andy
something
wanted,
somewhere.
Andy was supposed to come to the meeting because he wanted to, because then Lori did tell him, because she's just one board member, she can't make a decision forward. And had told Andy then he needed to come to the meeting tonight, and then Andy was going to explain to the council, so the council could make the decision on whether or not to sell it.
Probably a way that they would say that the tax rate for the capital fund would need to get raised in order to pay for a new truck. If a new truck was not purchased for them by the town, I could see that being a repercussion of not doing what they're
So if they're
describing.
not wanting this truck anymore, well, I don't know what they're gonna do. They're wanting us to sell it and then give that money to go towards the new truck.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be our
Take the
truck.
money. is what they-
Yeah.
Can use it on a new truck.
If they,
Right.
if they sell 2 of them, and we sell 1, are you gonna say that they're 2/3 of the owner of the new truck?
Hmm?
So tell them to sell it, put the money toward the ambulance.
That's what we raised the tax rate for.
Yeah.
That's what the uniform tax rate was raised for that.
So
So what would happen, well,
the township trustee right now basically runs the fire department, right? I mean, she has the final say on what they spend their money on, so on and so forth, right? Does Lakeville have any input on how?
The township is the provider unit. And as long as they are providing fire department service, they are able to control how that is done internally.
So does Lakeville give the township any money for coverage for fire?
Our tax dollars, our public safety tax dollars go off to the end property tax dollars, yes.
And it's also included in the tax rate for the fire territory. Includes money from the town. And that tax rate is set jointly between the township and the town via ordinances setting
if
that
we
rate.
did not have the territory, then our tax rate, they could have one tax rate and in town we have a different tax rate. Right now it's uniform because we have the territory and part of our taxes do go towards that in town. So it's not just the township people paying for fire. People within town are also paying for fire services.
So if our taxes are paying the fire department for coverage, how does that make us responsible for having to help buy a fire truck? I guess is my question. Did I say
And the
that right?
equipment replacement fund was explained, because I did ask, so what is the equipment replacement fund? Isn't it not replace the equipment?
Right.
No, it replaces the things that are on the trucks, not the trucks themselves.
It would be that other fund, I think that it would have to come out of.
There's the equipment replacement fund and what's the other one called?
Are they using a pickup truck at all?
I have no idea.
I mean, if they're selling it, they obviously don't need it, right?
But they have a lifetime lease, so they can use that truck till,
Unless we sell it.
We can't sell
Oh, we can't sell it.
Not unless they hand us the keys and an agreement saying, we don't want your truck anymore.
the lease exists. And what the lease does is say, here, in exchange for $1, the town is leasing this truck to you for the extent of its useful life. So until the trucks, or until the territory is dissolved, I believe is how that was worded. One of those two things has to happen before that lease ends. So either the township has to find in writing that it is at the end of its useful life, or there's nothing that can be done with this truck. I don't know what they're talking about.
They want us to sell. And they want to sell 2 of theirs and then take all the monies from all of those.
I mean, there would
to get
either
one new
need
one.
to be a mutual termination agreement of this lease, or somebody would need to make an official finding that it is at the end of its useful life before it could be sold by you at all.
But then what is our legal obligation of taking that money to provide a new truck?
I would have to look at the interlocal to see if it says anything about it. I mean, it probably doesn't, because your interlocal didn't say a lot about anything.
Hence the issue.
Yes. And that would be a thing that I 100% disagree with Marcel about the fire territory not being able to own things. Because one of the big changes that happened to fire territory statutes after your guys' was set up, so within the last 10 years, the statute that says that all of these things have to be in your interlocal agreement, one of the things they added was you have to say what happens to the territory's property if it breaks up. If the territory couldn't own things, it wouldn't have to say that.
Right.
Well, the way it stands right now and what we have been told, which I believe I forwarded you that email a couple months ago.
Yep,
a month ago
about
from the
Marcel
captain.
saying that it can't own things, I can do nothing about
Which
that,
means
but
that any
Under the-
vehicle that was under the territory isn't anymore, I would assume. So, then there's nothing. Just thoughts and
Is that
observations.
the law for the state of Indiana? As far as territories not owned?
He disagrees with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because you see every fire truck in a parade. Well, one truck will be fire territory, so something. Marcel, that's our sweetie.
Everything we say will be watched later on by others.
Thank you, Marcel.
So if we sell it, can we decide later whether to give it back? Or, I mean,
I'm asking Brandy.
will it come to us first if it gets?
It has to, because we have the title. The title,
Yeah.
we have in a state.
straight up, the township cannot sell this truck.
No.
And before it could be sold by the town, either there would have to be a mutual termination of the lease agreement,
Right.
or somebody would have to say in writing it is at the end of its useful life. Which, if that was the case, you wouldn't get any money for it if you sold it.
Right. It wouldn't have any value if it's not worth anything. I mean,
They have somebody
Deep breath.
they want to sell it to somebody now
apparently they have
for
a.
$50,000.
Of how much?
$50,000. Not by somebody,
That's also not how you sell government property.
that's what I was told in a conversation in their parking lot. I was, not by the boss.
Got it, yes. Just saying, you gotta auction that sucker off.
No, you just have to take bids and you have to take them for about 24 hours.
Well, that is-
24 hours and you
yeah.
can sell.
Taking bids is auctioning.
But we're not even.
And it's longer than 24 hours, but
So for us to get fire service, do we have to provide
We have a tank.
any part of helping with getting fire trucks or no?
We pay it in our taxes.
So
And
we
then
don't
in
have-
our
we don't have
territory
to.
agreement, it is not specifically
Okay.
listed out.
All I'm asking.
So I think you have answered my questions.
I'm gonna double check on what the interlocal says and what the lease says, but as far
The
as,
lease says for the lifetime of it.
right, I'm sure on that.
So
Like,
until they hand us a piece of paper stating it's dead or we don't want it anymore.
even if they say they don't want it anymore, that's not what the lease says. It says if
So
the
the
territory breaks up or it's at the end of its useful life.
Okay. That answers that question.
Or they break the lease, basically, right?
No, they cannot break the
Oh, they
lease.
can't break the lease? Really?
Not unless it's dead. If it's dead, then it's at the end of its life and.
You break the lease by having both parties sign the mutual termination agreement, but there's no provision in there for somebody to just say, I'm done.
So that explains. Do we have any more questions?
Here's mud.
Not
There's
yet.
mud.
There's one. I'm
Yeah.
just relaying, and asking Brandy because we have a meeting and that's what they wanted to present this evening. So,
No, I mean, as far as like, who has the leverage to force people to do it? If the interlocal doesn't say, I mean, they have a truck that they could either use or they don't have to use it. They want to say, you have to sell it, then they gotta either say it's at the end of its useful life, at which point it's, what are you gonna sell it for? It's junk. You send it to the
So it's
scrapyard.
not worth anything.
Or they somehow convince you to sign a thing terminating the lease to do what they want. Okay. Okay, now they're gonna make you do that.
and now we have our legal representative who has explained it to us.
Like I said, I'm gonna double check on what the interlocal says about property, but the last time I looked at it, it did not say much.
Okay. That's what I needed to know. Patrick, do you have any more questions on that?
No.
You understand it all too?
Like I said, in the long run, if you don't do it, it could affect your taxes as far as they make a case where they need a new truck and it could affect the tax rate to raise it to get a new truck, but.
That was for the AMBO, but we're not going there tonight.
Yeah.
One more thing. There was a complaint last meeting from Morningside, correct? Jim Moon was complaining about the builders around him.
There was no official.
It was
No,
something
he
about
just
the
was kept calling
dumpsters,
in.
or was it-
He was getting mad that, he was upset that the contractors were, well, he called in to the town hall. He was upset that the contractors were, parking in the cul-de-sac and said they were blocking the fire hydrant. And Cindy let me know, I got dispatcher out there
Oh,
also.
yeah.
He said there was numerous vehicles. I got out there, there was only two. Yeah.
The vehicle moved, I think, or something.
Yeah,
But they're
then the
building
next
two
day, it
houses
was
at
over
the
a couple
same time,
days,
yeah.
yeah. And unfortunately, normally what they were doing, so, Allen Edward Homes has a sign up out there. They can only have, contractors can only have two vehicles in the lot at a time. And then except for, or at least on the roadway, the other, but they can park on the lot next to it, which is lot 46. However, that was right after we got all of that rain and the lot was way too soft. They would have picked up the mud and
Well,
then
they're
we
doing
would have,
two houses
right, back to back. So they
back
got,
to back
yeah,
on
they
the
got
same
that one.
cul-de-sac.
Yeah, so they're only allowed, Allen Edwin's only has two vehicles back there in that cul-de-sac, so that way they don't block anything. But I was out there both days. There was only two vehicles out there each day. They weren't blocking the hydrant or anything. I did have them move their van over a little bit more just in case, and that for the clearance room. But he was actually working right there on the front of the house. So if it would have been a fire truck, he could have came right there and moved his van. But they've been parking now. They've moved on. They got they've been working on the other house now, so. So, and I did talk with the mail lady, the supervisor, and she did say if it's, because he was worried about his mailbox being blocked, which it wasn't that day. But she suggested, the mail supervisor, and I passed that on to Alan Edwin Holmes, that if they are going to have work vehicles and it becomes a continuing issue, they normally, what she sees in other communities is the builders would just put up a temporary mailbox, and the mailbox would be further out. So then that way it's not being blocked by anything, and it couldn't be just a temporary mailbox. So I relayed that on to Alan Edwin. So.
Anybody have anything else?
So the only thing I have, one of the, I had gotten a message in it. So the only, just in regards for, Pam Urbanski had message just in regards for, what Joe, with the hydrant. She just wanted to reiterate that she did not call him as a firefighter. She was just calling it as a private citizen. And the reason she said she didn't come back up, because Joe explained to her that Dave was new, and so she didn't want him getting in any trouble or causing any more problems. So that's why she didn't come back over. So.
Thank you for understanding that. I'm sorry for anything that happened. Anything else?
Nope.
Going once. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn at 7:08 p.m. All those in favor?
Yes.